Hello and a very warm welcome to World This Week by Latest Laws. This is our weekly program, so subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified. My name is Monica Rahar and let's get started by having a look at Supreme Court this week. First, we have an update in the case of unfortunate death of Sushant Singh Rajput. The centre has told the Supreme Court that there is no legal sanctity of witnesses' statement collected by the Maharashtra Police. A committee of 7 judges of the Supreme Court has recommended resumption of regular physical hearing of cases which are in their final stage after 10 to 15 days in 3 courtrooms. The Apex Court has sought a plan from the civic agencies in Delhi for installing radio frequency identity system at 111 toll points to electronically deduct municipal toll tax and the environment compensation charge from e-wallets of commercial vehicles. The Apex Court, in an important decision, has ruled that work could continue on the 1,360 km India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral Highway. The work on this project was on halt while a lower court in the state of Manipur was hearing a case which was brought before it by one of the contractors on the project. The Apex Court has sought response from the centre on a PIL which has sought an immediate ban on use, installation, production and advertisement of disinfectant tunnels which are set up to curb the spread of COVID-19. Goa Assembly Speaker Rajesh Patnaikar has ducked again in the case of 2 petitions against him before the Supreme Court for delaying the decision sought on disqualification of the MLAs who defected to the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and many of whom have become ministers in the party. Over 800 students from across the country have approached the Apex Court through a letter plea requesting it to take suo motu cognizance of the decision of the CBSE to conduct compartment exams during the COVID-19 outbreak. The Allahabad High Court decision to grant relief to a lawyer of Lucknow bench of Allahabad High Court who was accused of sexual harassment has been overruled by the Supreme Court. Now let's proceed with the next segment of our news analysis, which is the Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court has denied quashing an order passed by Special Commissioner of Police in wake of the recent Delhi riots, in which he advised the police officers to take due care in making arrest of people with Hindu backgrounds, citing resentment among the community. The court has issued notice to the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change on a petition seeking contempt proceedings against it for alleged willful disobedience of a court order to publish the translated versions of the draft Environment Impact Assessment notification in all 22 scheduled languages. Observing that no case was made out for suspension of rent for Japanese designer lifestyle brand Miniso during the lockdown, a Delhi court pulled up the firm for non-payment of rent of their lease property, saying it had no dearth of money. A contempt of court plea has been filed in the High Court against OYO founder Ritesh Agarwal and directors Anuj Tejpal and Rakesh Kumar by hospitality firm for failing to submit an affidavit listing its unencumbered assets as per a July 7 order from the court. The court has recommended that Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank's administrator should consider liquidating at least some assets belonging to the Vadhavans. The court has directed Reserve Bank of India to permit Jindal Steel and Power Limited to send US $54.99 million to its Mauritius subsidiary. The High Court has rejected the plea of Army personnel seeking withdrawal of policy of banning Indian Army from using social networking platforms. The court directed Delhi University to provide writers for visually impaired students at common service centers for online open book examination for final year undergraduate students if they have opted for one. Now let's proceed and move on to the Bombay High Court. The High Court has said that every employee who acquires a disability during the course of his employment is entitled to be shifted to another suitable post irrespective of the percentage of his disability. The court directed the state government to file an affidavit in reply of a PIL which sought direction to constitute a special task force led by the CBI to deal with manufacturing, selling, trading of banned products including gutka, jarda and other products which could contribute towards the spread of COVID-19. The court has said that the government could consider allowing people of all faith to visit their respective places of worship, especially when a gathering of 20 to 30 people were being allowed to attend weddings and funerals amid the spread of COVID-19. The Bombay High Court, in the case of Dipali Satyavan and others versus the state of Maharashtra and others, has held that negation of a caste certificate will not restrict the interview of a deserving candidate. Artists and crew members aged 65 and above are now free to resume shootings for films, television serials and over-the-top media after the High Court struck down a condition which was imposed by the Maharashtra government in view of COVID-19. Now let's proceed with the High Court of Punjab and Haryana. The Punjab and Haryana High Court, while dismissing the writ petition, imposed the exemplary cost for abuse of jurisdiction. The court imposed the cost of Rs 1 lakh to be deposited with the PM CARES fund. The court issued a stay order over the ruling of the Karnal administration, which imposed a blanket ban over the circulation of news in public by any media platform other than that of the government sources. The court questioned the Chandigarh administration's failure to stop cartelization and allotment of liquor vends. Here's an update from the Andhra Pradesh High Court. The High Court of Andhra Pradesh has found fault with the state government for deferred payment of 50% of salaries to government employees for March and April and deferred payment of 50% of pension for pensioners for March. Now let's proceed with the miscellaneous segment of our news analysis. The Special Court of CBI has partly allowed interim bail to suspended SHO Jaswinder Kaur, who is accused of a bribery case, so she can attend her son's wedding under police custody. Government of Kerala has handed over an additional compensation of Rs 1.30 crore to former scientist of ISRO, Nambi Narayanan, to settle the 2.5-decade-old spy case in which he was wrongfully implicated by the state police. Two Air Asia India top officials, Captain Manish Upal, who is the head of operations, and Captain Mukesh Nima, who is the head of air safety, have been suspended for a period of 3 months by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation for allegedly violating safety precautions. Now let's proceed with the last segment of our news analysis, which is the international news. The use of facial recognition technology by British police has violated human rights and data protection laws, a court said on Tuesday, in a decision which was praised as a victory against invasive practices by the authorities. A state court has dismissed a high-profile case showing unsportsmanlike conduct by Google, which was caught red-handed using lyrics obviously scrapped from Genius. The Duchess of Sussex has won her bid to protect the identities of 5 of her friends who defended her in an anonymous interview. Lessons of Nagasaki survivors should motivate the world to eliminate all nuclear weapons, stated the UN chief. Facebook will allow employees to work from home until July 2021 due to the coronavirus outbreak and will give them $1,000 for home office needs, a spokesperson of the social media giant said. US President Donald Trump on Tuesday signed executive orders halting all transactions with Chinese applications, TikTok and WeChat within 45 days. That's all we have for this week. Thank you very much for being with us. A very happy Independence Day to all of you. And until we come up with our next video, keep supporting, keep sharing and take care and stay tuned.